Swear it got me feeling like I'm God's favorite. Sometimes I feel like I can't go on, but I gotta hold on. 'Cause
She's watching over me. Shout out to my boy Guns Point Bobby. Hey, get me on a remix, nigga. I be thinking I can sing and shit when I hear this.
It just comes up that feel, make you think you can sing. It's an all the way around smooth flow though, man.
Yeah. Do you remember my birthday party? The dude that you were standing next to with the hat? This is him. His name was Trilly Polk.
Oh yeah,
This is Trilly Polk is featured on this song.
How you doing out here in the music scene?
You gotta check. You can even show me your footage from the party.
Yeah, I can download it for you.
Okay, because the shit that the other.
I mean, I seen this, but he made a great effort, but with no light and that type of camera, it's not made for that.
Yeah, it was not, because all the pictures were trash. Minus like the two that I posted, which I didn't really like, but I had to post something for my birthday. But I appreciate it because it was a nice gesture.
Exactly.
But still.
Sometimes I feel like I can't go on.
But they do people like that, but I feel like they need to
He's
sign
watching
for
over
my
me. I gotta stay.
I had to realize that my whole approach to, if you want to say, trying to gain a monetary, self-employed income type deal, I got caught up in being good at so much shit, being able to do so many different things, and being that was the play. But the play is just for me to share the knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what we talking about up in here with A Moment with Kodak, man.
Hey.
Trying to give you some games.
Hey, slid that right on in.
You feel me? Offer a different perspective and maybe open up your mind, you know what I'm saying? So you can receive some information that you may not have received before. You feel what I'm saying? That's the whole point, man. That's the whole mission. It's the whole game.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
In light of, you feel what I'm saying?
There you go, right there.
Black History Month, I guess that's what we coming out of or falling into, one of the two. We're around that scenario.
Is that where we at?
Yeah, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because we creeping up on, February
Yeah,
here,
February 1st. It's February 1st.
You feel me? So, it's bad. I'm trying to remember Martin Luther King's birthday was in January.
Birthday time.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, in light of that, I was digesting your boy. I'm not sure if the newer generation knows of him. I'm pretty sure some of the older generations and some of our influencers from older times, you feel what I'm saying, know about this cat, John Henry Clark.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the video I sent you on Facebook.
I'm still downloading it. Right. Okay. But we can still talk about the what made you.
I was gonna be ghetto because I know I was late sending it to you. Play the audio from my phone and let me hear it.
Oh no! You want the audio? I was downloading the actual video.
Oh, we could just listen to it because it's not a video that you really need to watch like that unless people just wanted to kind of see who it actually was.
Oh, it looked like it was a kind of cool vid.
I mean, it is. It just shows some historical, you know what I'm saying, factors. You know what I'm saying? It's another one that I can that somebody had sent to me. Mm-hmm. It was like they call it like the Black leaders. It was like it looked as if it was probably around like 15 or 20 Black leaders from back in the day, and one person pointed out to me today that's older than me was like, yeah, and what you don't even realize is a lot of them was 19, 20 years old at the time of the interview.
Really?
But when you look at it right now, they look like they'll be our parents' age. They look like they in their 30s, 40s, just the way they compose themselves, the way they was talking. But it was like some Stokely Carmichael,
how people
some
was back
Davis,
then, yeah.
some a lot of the major cats like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Did this one big panel where they was trying to discuss some stuff. The only thing that was kind of jacked up is the fact that it was put in the sense of a panel, so sometimes they really couldn't. The dude kept trying to tell them, okay, y'all can't really go into no long speech. You know what I'm saying? Leave your responses to answers. And at the last one, he asked Angela Davis to answer, but she didn't even get to go 3 minutes into her shit before he had to kind of be like, all right, yeah, my bad. I hate to be the bad person, but we got to. And you know how it is in radio. Hey,
yeah, definitely.
You gotta hit that clock, got to time out.
Time out.
That's what it is. We got to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they was really, it just really shows the intelligence. I would love to reenact something like that because it was a real good historical, especially you know what I'm saying, being in the future from that.
Right. What year?
That was like I think that was, I want to say 73.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Well, we can. If you want me to just play it, I can play it. I really wanted the people to see it so they could know what you're talking
Oh no,
about.
that video for sure, because that one ain't long. You know what I'm saying? I almost was considering possibly letting it play for the first half.
This
Because
one?
it's like 20-something minutes, but I didn't know if that was really proper etiquette.
Yeah, we
type
can't
deal.
play the whole.
Yeah,
You
I
trying to
got
get
you.
us shut down.
So I did get time marks of where you can, you know what I'm saying, skip to
Okay,
and be able
cool.
to touch upon some key points. It ain't that many, because like I said, it's not too long of a video.
Right.
But I would suggest some of those who just want some knowledge, man, because like I said, it's a lot of stuff that we can gain from the perspectives of those from back in the past. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not we feel we may be still dealing with some of these issues, or if it's just something that can just trigger some new form of thought, being that we have, if you want to say to some extent, more access now, there's a more awakening of consciousness to where we may be able to obtain new forms of thinking based up off of the knowledge that they gained and that they had from way back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think it's like applicable though?
Oh, most definitely, because what they're talking about is not so much of a time frame of a circumstance in a sense. It's more so of a condition, a mindset, and kind of a thought process of how we got to these points. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
you mean like what they're talking about gives us insight on how we ourselves got to where we are now.
And then even more so, I was thinking as well, it offers us some type of insight on the mentality that those people had that were kind of closer to, in a sense, some of the infractions and the inflictions that we had to endure. Versus now, it's a little bit more disguised. It's not to say that we still not dealing with some things, but it's not in the same way that we dealt with things before. I mean, like that they had to deal with back then. You feel what I'm saying? Like we caught a few tales of lynchings in our time frame. We had a few. It was a little spout with a few weeks running. You know what I'm saying? That they was talking about niggas was getting lynched on some trees. You feel what I'm saying? But not to the extent
they
that it
was
was
talking
back
about
in
it in the video.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying we can say,
okay.
we've encountered, we've had to deal with in our time frame now. You feel what I'm saying? In 2020 something, we had some lynchings. You know what I'm saying? Some real live niggas essays hanging from a tree.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? As a hate crime, so to speak.
So
But nonetheless, I say, like I say, the relevance of a video like this is from the one perspective to just think about the process in which we took or we had to endure to get to where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? And we can kind of compare. Have we moved out of some of those conditions, done better due to the insight and knowledge that those great thinkers had back in the day? You know what I'm saying? Or are we still in the same conditions? As well as it just gives us a perspective of, it's like there's nobody that can better talk about COVID than those that actually experienced COVID. Not in the sense of getting sick, but being here in a
while
pandemic
it's going
time.
on.
15, 20 years from now, people can speculate on how we felt, what we thought, our mindset, our mentality.
Well, this really not the first. This is not our first rodeo when it comes to disease. Like we had the bubonic, the bubonic, the bubonic, the bubonic,
whatever it is, we get what you mean.
Bubonic plague. Yeah. I couldn't get that shit out. Yeah. The bubonic plague. The what else? The other diseases they had. The Spanish influenza. Yeah, it's been a lot like we as a people, and I still remain, while this is still downloading, I still remain, a lot of this stuff comes from outside entities coming down here and exposing us probably in ways that we're not prepared to, defend ourselves against. I feel like there is fuckery afoot.
It is, most definitely.
It's fuckery
in
afoot.
A lot of ways, and that's just one of the tools that are used. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this is like, a lot of that really won't even have any relevance if the one condition wasn't prevalent in our society, and that's the not eating of things that are from that are native to our culture's diet in a lot of ways. You feel what I'm saying? If
what do you mean?
If we were eating like, you know what I'm saying, like your boy Dr. Sebi say, if we were eating food that was alive, not as far as it lived, but it's actually
living, right? Electric food.
Instead of eating things that are dead, then we wouldn't have any of the diseases that we have now. But even when you think past that, from like I said, some of the stuff that I digest, it all stems from mental conditions. All of it.
So you're saying that
of disease.
Our diet is
a huge factor because it breaks down this physical body that it was meant to be able to survive on this land, regardless of what things that we encountered. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same reason why you don't see just animals dropping dead out there in the wilderness of quote unquote disease, and that's why it's such a what happened when you catch animals dying of disease. You know what I'm saying? One or two, got sick, or you know what I'm saying, something crazy happened, whatever the case may be. But on an average day scale, to where it's almost like where they need clinics, right? Don't happen. It don't exist. Why? Their diet consists of things that are conducive to their actual structure of their shell, their avatar. You feel what I'm saying? So, but like I said, when you move past the other side of consciousness, the discussion is, if it wasn't for our mental state, we would have no disease, period. And no matter what foods we decided to eat. Really? Most definitely.
And you're talking about because the actual cellular...
The disease stems from an unbalance.
Right. The acidic, right, in the body.
Right.
Tell the people, Kodak.
But even all of that stems from a mental state. See what I'm saying?
So we're removing...
in a certain mental state to even say we're going to accept poison and eat it. You really got to think about the mental state a person really has to be in. And especially with the knowledge that we have now, even what they had back in the 70s with the movement of the Black Panthers, they knew about the foods. They didn't have as many fast food restaurants to distract and have a choice between. You know what I'm saying? But they became very hyper conscious of, we need to be eating more greens and things of this nature rather than steaks and pigs and porks. You feel me? So,
but that also was painted for us as things of luxury. The ability to, it's like, if you think about society's role in it. You can still
break it down all down to mental.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? If you even say just being able to be duped, fooled, or lured, you feel what I'm saying? To these desirable things.
Dupe, dupe, fooled, or allured. Hey, you need to put that on the shirt. A moment with Kodak. Dupe, fooled, or allured. Hey, take a moment with Kodak.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to tell you, however you want to spend it, somehow we ended up at that watering hole, some way, form, or fashion. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll even give a small analogy just to play with it some. Whether they had firecrackers shooting up in the sky to attract them, like, what the hell is going on over there? So I went up over there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or whether it was out of quote unquote falsified necessity because, hey, let me drain the waters around them without their knowledge in a sense, and only have this be the only source of thirst that they can come and get quenched by. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how they ended up at this water hole that got all this buffoonery in it. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Or whether or not somebody came and was like, hey, I think I found a water hole that's a little bit closer. You ain't got to walk as far. Let me go show you over here. You know what I'm saying? Some way, form, or fashion, we ended up there. Right. But it was a form of some type of deception. But you got to be, it's not to say you choose to be deceived, but if you are not at a certain level of consciousness, that deception is very easy. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And when you say consciousness, what do you like? Because we say that a lot.
I want to say more so awareness and even being connected to the source of knowledge that exists outside of your physical being. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Really being able to tap into the universal consciousness that we are all a part of, period. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like I say, we'll spend our life thinking that we got to go and get to something rather than understand that we just have to realize we are there. You feel what I'm saying? And then we can start to build upon that to where we really tap into a level of knowledge and awareness to where it's going to be very difficult for somebody to deceive you. You would better perceive their aura when they walking up to you, that nothing you say I should believe, period. Right. You look out of sync and out of balance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who's watching the show right now, but Kodak
You
is motherfucking dropping straight bombs on the show tonight. Say that one again. Run the tape back.
For real, I forgot what I said, man.
God damn it.
I forgot
That
what
shit
I
was
said.
fly.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too, but it was
Straight
live.
up.
I know, because it made me stop the show. Like, hold on, this nigga just said, wow. I forgot the other one. Deceived, duped, and allured.
Or lured. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey,
but
that shit was live.
I mean, man, like I say, it's so. To me, that's what I mean by
consciousness,
a level of consciousness, and that's not even. And I'd be the first to say I'm nowhere near where I feel the apex of that is. You know what I'm saying? The height of that mountain is. I'm not there to say, oh yeah, I've arrived, so I can. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that I'm definitely aware that that's where the journey is going. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the, I want to say verbiage, knowledge, whatever the case that I digest, that's the overall takeaway is do not be distracted by the destination. Be fully aware of the journey that you on. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because that's where the growth, the education takes place. You know what I'm saying? That's the piece of the puzzle that needs to be obtained in order for you to even, if you want to say, ascend past that destination that you think you are striving. You know what I'm saying? Going towards. Because once you get there, it can't be okay. Because then, okay, if you say that, then you accepting the fact of saying, okay, well, I'm going to start deteriorating now because there's nothing else for me to obtain.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And it has to be a constant state of motion of some sort, negative or positive.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So if there is no more continued growth, then you are already starting that progression of, you know what I'm saying, death. Right. But maybe not in the sense of the death that we think.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I mean, man, the heightened level of knowledge that I've been able to see that's possible by way of ancient knowledge that I've become aware of that I just heard. Now, that's not to say that I've went and talked to the individual that I even heard this from. It's not to say that I've actually digested every single piece of literature that this person say they may have read to come to these conclusions. Did I go and verify these books or sources that this person has used or that they may have read from according or based on this type of knowledge? But the height of that awareness or consciousness that is possible is being able to consciously download your consciousness into another avatar.
Yes, into another. They're doing that already, by the way.
Continues, yeah, but it's signed. But
that's that alien technology I be talking about.
But to me, that's like the man. I hate to say it like this. Okay, that's the man.
Epitome?
What's the word? No. That's that's the clone of the original.
Right.
We didn't have to do it that way.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like they're more so using the kind of a sense of technology, but I think our ancestors were able to do this more organically in a sense. It's not to say that there was not some element of technology available. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like you had to go to some person in order to be able to achieve this task.
Right.
This was something that, like I say, you awakened to have knowledge of, to know how to do yourself, even if you had to use some elements of technology. But it was nothing outside of yourself that you had to go to in order to be able to attain this. I didn't need to go to no philosopher or no doctor's office or no scientific lab in order to be able to all right, y'all do this for me, and not aware of the actual true process that's taking place. Right. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy, like I say, man, and one day we'll dive into it to give people a visual of that. It's a movie out.
What's it about
called? That. Who did it have in it, man? I want to say it had Superman or one of the X. It had to be a Superman movie, man.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I did.
It was either a Superman movie or a Marvel movie.
Oh well, that
No, matter of fact,
narrows it down.
it was a Wolverine movie.
Oh,
it was
okay.
one where Magneto really went ham,
yes,
and they was being deceived by that so-called God.
Yeah.
You remember that part of the movie where under the tomb, you know what I'm saying? Like they did the flashback where he was transferring his consciousness. He laid on the table, had somebody else, and it was just, you know what I'm saying? It's the same. Like it be dropping the jewels, man, right there
right
in the
your
movies.
face.
You feel what I'm saying?
Speaking of movies, we do have the John Henrik Clark video
All right, well,
ready to go.
You can cue up the first segment, and matter of fact, you can I sent it to your Facebook, but a minute and 14 seconds, but go to probably like a minute and 12 seconds just so we can possibly get in the review.
Okay. I mean, I don't have the exact
Did not
time.
look like Elizabeth Taylor.
It may be hard.
Yeah, this doesn't. It doesn't have like time.
You don't have the.
I have the thing, but I can't.
It's necessary.
The numbers.
You said black historians are out on the solely black thing. Most of us got our most.
What minute is it at right now?
It doesn't show. That's what I was telling you. It just has a blank line. It doesn't have a needle.
And I think his book
starts. You can probably start it
with the other great character. Did not look like Elizabeth Taylor.
We passed him?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Oh, very, very beginning.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, cool.
It's, like I say, it's not that long, so
it's 27 minutes. But...
Yeah, no, we ain't gonna play the whole thing.
Okay,
but you'll be able to just skip to a few. You know what I'm saying? A few seconds. You got like 30 minutes. You can fast forward. I don't know if it does that.
Yeah, it does. It just doesn't have
time.
The
actual time.
The subject of Black history is in dispute.
And who is this? John Henrik Clark?
A man named J.A. Rogers, who was laughed at 20, 30 years ago.
Man, Tony,
not taken seriously at all. He's being taken very seriously these days. A new book called Great Black Men of Color.
That bow tie, though.
By our guest tonight.
But you know, back in the day, that's just how they dressed.
There's rather startling.
Look at his face, like I know things that other niggas don't.
Revelations made
right.
That's
in
the face he have
about
I forgot
certain presumed facts of history that I'm certain will not stick with the general white historical community.
Well, see how it echoes? I have to mute it.
It became almost necessary for the Europeans to whiten up a part of black history when they began to take over the world in the 15th and the 16th century. And what Rogers has done is gone back and taken a whole lot of the white away and showed you the original black faces of certain people in history. In this 2-volume work, World's Great Men of Color, Volume 1 is devoted to the Old World, and Volume 2 is devoted to the New World. The first thing he does is Volume 1 is devoted to the Old World, and Volume 2 is devoted to the New World.
Okay, bet. So yeah, that was just giving some. Oh, that sound weird. That was just giving some.
It's too loud?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, I'm not used to ever putting both sides on, so hearing from both ears like that, it sounds weird.
Okay.
But no, that was just a little intro to get some context as far as what he was going to be kind of discussing, and that's more so to generalize it, talking about not so much as far as the black influence, but the black accomplishments before they were whitewashed. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he's giving some type of context of a previous older author that had created a body of work, a 2-volume set that went further back past in a sense, the whitewashing of a lot of history. And his whole premise is that they had to whiten history in order to be able to conquer the world. He was saying basically when they was coming out of if you want to say their dark ages, the Caucasian people came together, Europe. Came together and was like, regardless of what our beliefs, socially, economically, religiously, regardless of any of that, any of those differences, we want to agree upon one thing. We are going to take over the world.
Right.
And they did.
Indeed.
You feel what I'm saying? And so he was saying in order for them to be able to successfully do that, they had to erase the
smears on there
of history. Right. Because like he was saying, how can you actually enslave a people if they really know their history and where they come from.
I always say that if you want to enslave I not always say that, but that's where I got it from. If you want to enslave a person, you just remove their sense of history. Basically.
Oh man!
And that's the essential result is the Black community today. We are like damn near displaced persons.
And he was speaking on the major tool that they use,
religion,
and he was saying, how could they come and actually sell religion to us by the guise of saying you guys are heathens that need to be saved, if we know that we actually created that religion in which they saying we need.
But we don't know that at first. They don't tell you that at first.
That's the like you were saying, that's the trick, that's the trap. You feel what I'm saying? Is that our lack of knowledge on the impact that we have had. And like he states somewhere in the video is that we created any religion that exists on this physical earth has its origins in Africa. Period. You know what I'm saying? They may have changed them up a little. You feel what I'm saying? But they can all be based back to Africa.
Hassan Unique.
That crafted,
shout out for tuning in.
Tricked us into thinking backwards. Of course, man. And you can sum it up to that. Like a lot of the information that we have, they just flip-flopped it. I think there's even passages in the Bible that talk about that to an extent. That basically like this westernized society,
trade, and
that what they tell us is right is actually wrong, and that what they tell us is wrong is actually right.
And modern racism has its incubator.
Give us. We can look at it even based off the educational system that they have. We can look at it in the sense of the actual political arena that they set up. You feel what I'm saying? Everything is flip flop. You feel what I'm saying? Like the red, like they said, the red man quoted as that man with the double tongue. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So.
But you cannot sell an African.
But that's the whole premise of what he was kind of going off of
and acknowledge the African
in the actual
contribution
video.
toward the creation of Christianity. So it's a contradiction. And acknowledging
I think it was 7 something
created Christianity, then come back
let me shut the fuck
and
up
say that he's Christianity because he is.
It didn't have a 7 in it though. It was like
European habits.
What's wrong with your friend? What's wrong with your friend?
Contribution of non-European people.
Okay, so let me mute
to a certain extent, they did this in Asia. Now, what Rogers has done in these 2 books is to go back and set history in some kind of perspectives based on this information, and all of the information did not come from Black historians. It came from the best records available from all of them.
Now, speaking of information, Rogers has alleged some very startling things, and we're using that word because I think in the context of having had only white history, anything Black is startling, and so I'm saying it in a positive way. That some of his information has said that there were a number of American presidents who actually were Black, that there were a number of prominent Americans that history has treated as whites, who by his criterion or criteria of who was Black and white, according to society's definition, were Black.
Oh, now, not according to Rogers' definition now. Understand, and this is the irony of it all, and this is the trap. Black people have never written any definitions of race, any definitions of what a people mean, has been. I mean, they have never said that these people with these kind of traits belong here, because modern racism had its development in the pseudo-scientific development of intellectual Europe after the 15th century, and they began to say that certain kind of people belong to certain kind of race, and they created the concept of race and racism itself. Now, according to the laws that's still on the statute book of the United States and some other parts.
All right, so
that was funny face.
Yeah, another good point that he was making right there that was ironic to me is the whole premise that our great thinkers of from then to now, a lot of the information from his words, the radical thinking, you know what I'm saying, and the premise of radical being contrary to what
We're
the
programmed
westernized,
to.
exactly, white world has given us as far as information. You know what I'm saying? I know that wasn't politically correct, but
No, it was totally entertaining though.
But that he was saying that a lot of the information that our great thinkers and scholars and all of that research would be actually the radical thinkers of the westernized culture, the white people. You know what I'm saying? Because like he was saying, we have never sat down and stated or written down or decided or defined these classes of things like that as far as races, you know what I'm saying, or cultures, because I guess if you were a people that traveled everywhere, it was not necessary for you to classify individuals in that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even just the whole definition of race is kind of like the trap.
Right.
To get us distracted from
divided and
distracted.
Man. Division. That's what created the division. Created a lot of the division outside of religion, along with religion, I should say.
Yeah, alongside, definitely. Because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that they used to affect us with using religion as the tool to kind of get that out. You know what I'm saying? To
make it okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The white man's burden.
Hey.
We have to save these people. They're savages.
They're heathens.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But, on that note, we're going to take a break, come back and holler at y'all, and we're going to dig a little bit deep into this John Henry Clark interview.
Kodak Moments. A Moment with Kodak.